Hello everyone, this is your friend Naruto Fix, and we are back with another epic What If Naruto fanfic. Which is, what if Naruto was trained by Fugaku Uchiha in secret? Part 1. If you love Naruto fanfics, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the journey with me. So, let's start the fanfic. The night the Nine Tails attacked Konoha was a night of fire and screams, one that would change the fate of the shinobi world forever. The village burned, the sky turned red, and amidst the chaos, Fugaku Uchiha, head of the Uchiha clan, stood on the rooftop of the police headquarters, watching the beast tear through his home. He wanted to help. His Sharingan blazed, but the Hokage's forces had already surrounded the battlefield. Orders were clear, the Uchiha would stay back. Fugaku clenched his fists. He could have used his Mangekyo, but that would expose the power he had kept hidden even from most of his clan. And then, through the smoke and destruction, he saw something that would change his destiny. A small baby, wrapped in a torn orange blanket, lying beside the remains of a shattered building. The seal on his belly glowed faintly. The son of the fourth Hokage. Naruto Uzumaki. Something inside Fugaku stirred, an instinct, perhaps, or a whisper from fate. Greater than, he's Minato's son, and Kushina's. The village will never understand what he carries. That night, Fugaku made a vow. He couldn't save Minato or Kushina, but he could save their legacy. High voltage, a secret arrangement. Years passed. Naruto grew up alone, hated, shunned, and ignored by most of the village. But one man kept watching from the shadows. Fugaku. He saw the fire in Naruto's eyes, the same kind of stubbornness he once saw in his own sons, Itachi and Sasuke. And he knew, this boy would either be consumed by the hatred of the world or rise above it. When Naruto was around 8, Fugaku made his move. Late one night, as Naruto was being chased by angry villagers for a prank gone wrong, a single kunai flew from the darkness, pinning one Itachi's weapon to the wall. The mob froze. A calm, commanding voice spoke. Greater than, enough. Naruto turned to see a tall man with sharp eyes and a cold aura. The red glow of the Sharingan pierced the dark. Greater than, who are you? Quote, someone who sees potential in you, Naruto Uzumaki. That night, Fugaku took Naruto away from the streets and into an abandoned training ground deep in the Uchiha district. Drop of blood, the secret training begins. Fugaku didn't reveal his true motives at first. To Naruto, he was just a mysterious sensei who believed he could become strong, not for the village, but for himself. Every night, after pretending to sleep in his small apartment, Naruto would sneak out to meet him. Fugaku's methods were harsh, unrelenting, and cold. Naruto would come home bruised, bloodied, but stronger every single day. He learned chakra control faster than ever before. Fugaku taught him how to use his instincts in battle, to read movement, and to see through deception. Greater than, you're reckless, loud, and emotional, Fugaku told him one evening after Naruto failed a sparring test. But that emotion can be your strength, if you learn to channel it. Naruto's progress was extraordinary. His chakra reserves, bolstered by the Nine Tails, gave him immense potential. Fugaku began teaching him advanced forms of shurikenjutsu, stealth, and taijutsu rooted in Uchiha discipline. He even taught Naruto how to sense killing intent, a skill usually reserved for Anbu-level shinobi. Naruto, though young, began to understand a new kind of silence, a predator's calm. Fire. Naruto's hidden power awakens. One evening, during a brutal training session, Fugaku pushed Naruto past his limits. Greater than, again. I can't. Then you'll die like the weak. Naruto's rage exploded. His chakra flared violently, and the ground beneath them cracked. Red chakra tails began to emerge, snarling like living fire. Fugaku activated his Sharingan instantly, his eyes spinning with the Mangekyo pattern. He didn't flinch. He stepped forward, placing his hand on Naruto's forehead. Greater than, control it. Don't let the beast control you. Quote, Naruto screamed, but through Fugaku's calm, dominating chakra presence, he began to focus. The red chakra shrank, compressing into a sharp, controlled flame-like aura. When it faded, Naruto collapsed, breathing heavily. Fugaku looked down at him with rare pride. Greater than, good. You faced the demon, and won. New moon father and son in shadow. Over time, their bond deepened. Fugaku began to see in Naruto the son he wished Sasuke could be, strong, determined, yet filled with compassion. And Naruto, who never knew a father's love, found something in Fugaku's harsh mentorship that filled the emptiness within him. He even started calling him Sensei, though deep down, he felt something more: respect, admiration, and the unspoken warmth of belonging. One night, Naruto asked, "Greater than, Sensei, why are you helping me? No one else ever did." Fugaku looked away, eyes heavy with unspoken truths. "Greater than, because the world will fear what it does not understand. But I see your strength for what it truly is." Quote, Crossed swords clash of fates, Itachi's discovery. But secrets never last forever. One night, Itachi, already an Anbu captain, followed his father into the shadows, curious why he disappeared each evening. When he arrived at the old training ground, he froze. There stood Naruto Uzumaki, surrounded by shuriken lodged in every tree, panting heavily, sweat dripping from his brow. And across from him, Fugaku, sparring with a faint smile on his face. Itachi stepped forward, his eyes hard. "Greater than, father, what are you doing?" Naruto turned, startled. "Greater than, Itachi. Wait, this isn't." But Itachi wasn't angry at Naruto. His fury was directed at his father. "Greater than, you're training the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. In secret. This could destroy everything." Fugaku's tone remained calm. "Greater than, Itachi. This boy is the future of the village, whether the elders see it or not. If we guide him, he could save Konoha from itself." Itachi clenched his fists, torn between loyalty and understanding. "Greater than, and if the village finds out, they'll call it treason." Fugaku's eyes glowed with Mangekyo light. "Greater than, then so be it. Milky Way, the Uchiha's last hope." From that night onward, Itachi never spoke of it, but it changed everything. He began to see Naruto differently, as someone who might one day stop the endless cycle of hatred. Naruto's training intensified. Fugaku secretly taught him the foundation of genjutsu resistance and chakra suppression, using the Sharingan as both shield and weapon. The Uchiha clan began preparing for rebellion, but Fugaku's heart was divided. Because now, he had a secret weapon, a boy who wasn't Uchiha by blood, but who carried the soul of one. Naruto Uzumaki, trained in secret, was becoming the bridge between clans, an unknowing heir to two legacies, the Wall of Fire, and the Curse of Hatred. Time moved forward, like the quiet ticking of a kunai clock buried in the heart of Konoha. The world outside Naruto's secret training had no idea what was being shaped in the dark, a force born of fire and shadow. Now at age 10, Naruto was no longer the reckless prankster the village saw. He had become something else. His movements were sharp, his chakra flow controlled, his mind, focused. Fugaku's training had molded him into a warrior of precision and quiet rage. But while Naruto was changing, so too was the Uchiha clan. Whispers of rebellion filled the district. Men and women trained behind closed doors, preparing for something that could destroy the entire village. Fugaku stood at the center of it all, his eyes colder than ever. Naruto could sense the tension. During one of their night training sessions, he finally asked, "Greater than, Sensei, what's going on with the others? Why do they talk about fighting the Hokage?" Fugaku stood silently under the pale moonlight. His Mangekyo shimmered faintly as he looked toward the Hokage monument. "Greater than, because peace built on fear is not peace, Naruto. The Uchiha have been treated like outcasts since the night your father died. They blame us for the Nine Tails attack." Naruto froze. His father. Greater than, wait, you mean? Fugaku stopped him with a raised hand. "Greater than, you are not ready for that truth yet. All you need to know is this: the village you love is not perfect. Sometimes, to protect it, you must stand against it." Naruto lowered his head, his thoughts storming. He wanted to protect Konoha, yes. But he also couldn't ignore the pain in Fugaku's voice. The same pain he felt every day, being called a monster. That night, Fugaku placed a hand on his shoulder. "Greater than, Naruto, listen to me. There will come a time when you must choose between blind loyalty and true justice. When that moment comes, I trust your heart will decide. Naruto didn't know what it meant then. But the seed of doubt had been planted. High Voltage Chapter 3, The Hidden Prodigy. Weeks passed, and Naruto's growth became unstoppable. Under Fugaku's supervision, he mastered silent assassination techniques, the kind even Anbu struggled with. He learned to mask his chakra so well that even senses couldn't detect him. And when Fugaku saw how Naruto absorbed everything, he began teaching him the Uchiha flow, a rare lightning-based kenjutsu style, once meant only for Uchiha elites. This isn't about copying our techniques, Fugaku said one night, guiding Naruto's hand as he molded lightning chakra through a blade. It's about understanding intention. Every strike should reflect your resolve. Naruto's blade crackled to life. The lightning hummed in perfect sync with his heartbeat. I can feel it, sensei, it's like it's part of me. Quote, Fugaku nodded. That's because your chakra is pure. Wild, but pure. You were never meant to be just a vessel. You were meant to lead. Naruto grinned, but deep down, his heart was heavy. He admired Fugaku deeply, but something in the man's eyes told him he was preparing for something final. New Moon Chapter 4, The Meeting of Fate. One night, Naruto's training was interrupted by a shadow stepping into the clearing, Itachi. His Anbu mask hung at his side, his face calm but eyes troubled. Naruto, he said quietly, you shouldn't be here tonight. Quote, Fugaku stood between them, arms crossed. He's ready to know, Itachi. Naruto looked between them, confused. Know what? Itachi sighed, his voice heavy with sorrow. My father, he plans to lead the Uchiha in a coup against Konoha. The elders will see it as treason. Naruto's eyes widened in disbelief. A coup. But, sensei, why? That'll start a war. Fugaku's expression didn't waver. Because the village has already declared war on us in silence. We are prisoners in our own home. Naruto's fists clenched. There has to be another way. You always told me strength comes from protecting, not destroying. For the first time, Fugaku's calm cracked. His tone rose, his voice full of restrained rage. You don't understand, Naruto. Sometimes destruction is protection. If I don't act, my people will be erased. The air trembled. Itachi stepped forward, his hand on his katana. And if you do act, the entire clan will die. The elders already know. They'll send the Anbu. They'll send me. Fugaku froze. Naruto's eyes darted between them, realization dawning. You mean, they'll make you kill them, Itachi. Quote, Itachi closed his eyes. To prevent a civil war. Naruto couldn't breathe. His mentor and his friend, about to destroy each other. No. There has to be another way. I'll stop it, both of you. Fugaku looked at him with something like pride and sadness intertwined. If you can stop us, then maybe you truly are Minato's son. Fire Chapter 5, The Night of the Uchiha Massacre. The sky over Konoha was dark, silent, and waiting. The streets of the Uchiha compound were empty, too quiet for comfort. Naruto moved through the shadows, his heart pounding, every sense screaming danger. He'd felt the shift in chakra. Itachi was moving. The massacre had begun. He reached the district just in time to see blood pooling across the streets. Fallen Uchiha lay motionless, and at the center stood Itachi, blade drenched in crimson, eyes glowing with Mangekyo Sharingan. Itachi, what did you do? Itachi turned, emotionless. I ended a war before it began. Naruto's voice cracked with fury. You killed your own clan. To save the village. To protect peace. Quote, peace. You call this peace? Naruto shouted, rushing forward, lightning chakra bursting from his hands. Fugaku-sensei trusted you. Itachi's eyes softened for just a moment. He did. And his final wish, was for me to spare you. Quote, Naruto froze. What? A memory flashed in his mind, Fugaku's last words from earlier that night. If I fall, Naruto, protect the village. But never become its slave. Naruto fell to his knees as the realization hit. Fugaku was gone. His mentor, his father figure, the man who believed in him when no one else did, dead by his own son's hand. Itachi walked past him, voice a whisper. Greater than, you'll understand one day. I did this, so that Sasuke could live. Quote, Naruto's fists trembled. Greater than, then I'll make sure his death isn't meaningless, I'll protect Sasuke. And this village. In my way. Sunrise Chapter 6, The Legacy of Shadow. When the sun rose the next morning, the Uchiha clan was gone. The official story, Itachi betrayed the clan and murdered them all. But buried beneath the lies, a single boy carried the truth. Naruto Uzumaki, trained in secret by Fugaku Uchiha, now understood what true strength meant, not just power, but conviction. He continued training alone, mastering what Fugaku had taught him, refining his genjutsu resistance, honing his stealth, and perfecting his lightning kenjutsu. And deep within him, a new resolve was born. Greater than, I'll become a shinobi strong enough to protect both sides, the village and those the village fears. The boy who was once hated by everyone now carried the will of a fallen clan. The fire of the Uchiha burned within the heart of Naruto Uzumaki. The Uchiha massacre was over, but its scars remained. Konoha whispered rumors, Itachi, the traitor, Sasuke, the survivor, and Naruto, the monster. No one knew the truth. No one knew that a piece of the Uchiha's legacy still lived, hidden beneath the blonde-haired boy's smile. Naruto returned to his usual place in the academy, his mischievous grin masking a storm of thoughts. The days of pranks and lazy study were gone. His eyes, once full of childish fire, now held a silent depth. Iruka noticed it first. Greater than, Naruto, you've changed lately, he said one afternoon. You're quieter. Naruto chuckled lightly, rubbing the back of his head. Greater than, guess I finally started taking things seriously, huh? Quote, but deep inside, Naruto wasn't thinking about exams or lectures. He was thinking about Fugaku. About the lesson that kept echoing in his mind. Greater than, power means nothing without purpose, Naruto. Always know why you fight. Quote, Naruto had seen death, real death. He had seen the cost of loyalty and betrayal. So while his classmates laughed and daydreamed about becoming Chunin, Naruto trained alone at night, hidden beneath the trees of Training Ground 44, the Forest of Death. There, under the moonlight, he would channel lightning through kunai, just as Fugaku taught him. He would practice chakra suppression until even Anbu couldn't find him. And in those quiet nights, he whispered to the stars. Greater than, Sensei, I won't let your dream die. Crossed Swords Chapter 8, Clash of Heirs. Graduation day arrived. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, Team 7. To the world, it seemed ordinary, the hyperactive blonde, the prodigy Avenger, and the book's smart kunoichi. But deep beneath, two legacies collided silently, Fugaku's secret student and his surviving son. During one of their first missions, Kakashi decided to test them again. Greater than, you've all grown, but teamwork is still your greatest weapon, he said, placing the familiar bells on his belt. Same test, but this time, don't hold back. Naruto grinned, his expression calm, not the usual loudmouth charge. Sasuke noticed immediately. Greater than, you're different, he muttered. What happened to all that yelling? Quote, Naruto smirked. Greater than, guess I learned that noise doesn't win fights. When the test began, Sakura moved into cover, Sasuke attacked from the front, and Naruto vanished. Not disappeared, vanished. Even Kakashi, with his Sharingan, blinked in surprise. Greater than, chakra masking. He thought, that's not possible for an academy graduate. Suddenly, Kakashi felt a shiver, lightning chakra flaring behind him. He turned just in time to parry Naruto's kunai, sparks dancing through the air. Greater than, lightning chakra flow. Where did you learn that? Kakashi asked, genuinely intrigued. Naruto only smiled faintly. Greater than, from someone who believed in me when no one else did. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. For a split second, the sound of lightning, the stance, something about it felt familiar. Greater than, that's an Uchiha technique. Quote, Naruto didn't answer, but deep in his chest, he could feel Sasuke's suspicion grow like a flame. Cloud with Lightning Chapter 9, The Unseen Bond. Weeks passed, missions came and went, but the tension between Naruto and Sasuke only grew stronger. Both pushed each other without even realizing it, two sons of Fugaku's legacy, walking different paths. During a mission to escort a merchant through the border of the Land of Fire, an ambush struck. Hidden mist shinobi surrounded them, silent and lethal. Kakashi was trapped in a water prison technique, Sakura held back the client, and Sasuke struggled against two swordsmen. Naruto, meanwhile, stood in the center of the chaos, calm. His eyes gleamed not with fear, but focus. He extended his hand, forming a seal Fugaku had shown him once, long ago. Greater than, Raiten, Heen. Lightning surged through his kunai, slicing through the mist like sunlight through storm clouds. Each strike was precise, silent, deadly. The assassins fell one by one before they could even react. When it was over, even Kakashi looked shocked. Greater than, Naruto, that technique, where did you learn it? Naruto looked down at his trembling hand, the lightning fading. Greater than, a gift from someone who taught me that silence can be stronger than words. Sasuke watched, jaw tight. His eyes burned, not with jealousy, but confusion. He had spent years mastering his clan's legacy, but this stranger, this Dobe, fought like an Uchiha. Greater than, who are you really? Sasuke muttered. Naruto didn't respond. He simply sheathed his kunai and walked ahead. Full Moon Chapter 10, Ghost of the Uchiha. That night, after the mission, Sasuke couldn't sleep. He confronted Naruto by the campfire, his voice sharp. Greater than, tell me, where did you learn those moves? The Uchiha clan was wiped out. That technique, it's from my father's style. Naruto froze. Greater than, your father, he whispered. Sasuke stepped closer. Greater than, don't play dumb. I saw the way you moved. The way your chakra flared. Tell me. Naruto turned, his face illuminated by the flickering flames. Greater than, because your father was my teacher. Quote, Sasuke's world shattered. Greater than, what? Naruto's voice was soft, trembling between guilt and pride. Greater than, before the massacre, Fugaku Uchiha took me in. He taught me how to control my chakra, how to fight, how to believe in something more than myself. He believed in me, when no one else did. Sasuke's Sharingan flickered to life, his breath quickening. Greater than, liar. My father would never, he wouldn't train you. Naruto stood his ground. Greater than, he did. And his last words, were to protect the village, but never become its slave. Quote, for a long moment, neither spoke. The night was silent except for the crackle of fire and the weight of truth hanging between them. Then, Sasuke whispered, voice cracking. Greater than, you were there that night. Quote, Naruto nodded slowly. Greater than, I couldn't stop it. I tried. Sasuke turned away, fist shaking. Greater than, then you saw him die. Naruto's voice broke. Greater than, yes. And I swore I'd protect what he cared for most, you. Quote, Sasuke's eyes widened, tears burning behind his gaze. Greater than, you protected me. Naruto smiled sadly. Greater than, I couldn't save him. But I can save you. Cyclone Chapter 11, Legacy Awakened. From that night forward, the bond between Naruto and Sasuke shifted. It was no longer rivalry born of ego, but a silent understanding forged in shared pain. They trained harder than ever, pushing each other past limits. Naruto taught Sasuke chakra suppression. Sasuke refined Naruto's taijutsu. And one day, during a spar, something within Naruto awakened, an aura dark and bright at once. Sasuke's Sharingan widened. Greater than, what is that? Naruto's chakra spiraled like a storm, flickering with crimson edges. Inside, Kurama stirred. Greater than, so, you've inherited their hatred too, huh? The fox rumbled. A beast of both fox and flame. Naruto gritted his teeth. No, not hatred. Resolve. The ground split beneath them as Naruto unleashed a fusion of Fugaku's lightning kenjutsu and Kurama's raw chakra. It was wild, powerful, uncontrollable, yet somehow beautiful. When the energy faded, both were left panting, staring at each other. Greater than, you really are insane, Sasuke said, smirking despite the bruises. Greater than, yeah, Naruto grinned. Guess that makes two of us. Sunrise Chapter 12, The Future of Fire. As dawn rose, Naruto looked up at the Hokage monument, the same one he once defaced as a prankster. Now, he stood with purpose. Greater than, Sensei, he whispered, I understand now. Strength isn't just about power. It's about choosing what to protect, and what to forgive. The wind carried his words through the trees. Somewhere beyond, in the shadows of the afterlife, Fugaku's spirit seemed to smile. Naruto Uzumaki, the secret student of the Uchiha patriarch, had become something the world had never seen before. A shinobi born of fire, shadow, and will. Weeks after the truth between Naruto and Sasuke came out, the two grew closer, not as rivals, but as brothers in spirit. Each night after missions, they met in the same hidden training ground Fugaku had once used for his private lessons. Naruto could still see the ghost of his sensei there, tall, calm, arms folded, watching from the shadows. Greater than, you've done well, Naruto, the memory whispered. But the true test isn't against others, it's against yourself. So Naruto trained harder than ever. He pushed his chakra control to the edge, learning to fuse his nature transformation, wind, with lightning, Fugaku's specialty. The result was chaotic, unstable, and almost killed him twice. But Naruto didn't stop. He remembered Fugaku's words before his death. Greater than, when two powers conflict, the one with conviction prevails. So he tried again, and one night, when the moon was full and silent, he did it. His hand glowed with white-blue energy, wind and lightning dancing together, slicing the air apart. It wasn't the Rasengan. It wasn't the Chidori. It was something new, something his. He whispered to the night. Greater than, this is for you, Fugaku-sensei. High Voltage Chapter 1, The Hidden Mission. Kakashi soon noticed Naruto's growing power and composure. The loud prankster had turned into a focused shinobi. During a debrief at the Hokage's office, Hiruzen narrowed his eyes slightly. Greater than, Naruto, your progress has been exceptional. Who has been training you besides Team 7? Quote, Naruto froze. He couldn't tell the truth, not yet. Greater than, just practicing on my own, Gigi, he said, smiling innocently. But behind that grin, Naruto carried a burden. Because in his heart, he still carried Fugaku's final order, one not even Sasuke knew. Greater than, when the village forgets the truth, protect it from itself. One day, you'll need to make a choice, between Konoha's peace and its justice. Naruto didn't understand those words then. But soon, destiny would force him to. The ambush. During a C-rank mission gone wrong, Team 7 was ambushed by rogue shinobi, remnants of the Uchiha who had escaped the massacre. They wore black cloaks with scorched clan symbols, eyes burning with vengeance. Their leader stepped forward, tall, scarred, and bitter. Greater than, so this is the boy our leader spoke of, he said coldly. The one Fugaku Uchiha spared. You carry his teachings, unworthy brat. Naruto's eyes widened. Greater than, you knew him. Greater than, we followed him, the man snarled. Until he betrayed our clan's pride for that cursed village. Lightning sparked around the man's blade. Naruto recognized the form instantly, Fugaku's stance. And for the first time in his life, Naruto understood the true depth of his master's sacrifice. Fugaku had not only chosen peace over power, he had chosen to carry his clan's hatred alone. Now that hatred stood before Naruto, ready to destroy everything his sensei had protected. Naruto clenched his fists. Greater than, you think vengeance is what he wanted. You didn't know him at all. Legacy unleashed. The rogue Uchiha attacked in blinding speed, their Sharingan spinning crimson. Naruto met them head-on, no fear, no hesitation. Wind and lightning fused in his hands, forming a blade of pure chakra. It screamed through the air, cutting through their jutsu effortlessly. Greater than, what is that? One shouted. Greater than, something my master never finished, Naruto replied. A fusion of his dream and mine. Kakashi and Sasuke fought nearby, holding off the rest. But Naruto's battle became something else, personal. Each strike carried his anger, his pain, his loyalty. The leader lunged again, Sharingan blazing. Naruto met him with a counterstrike that cracked the ground beneath them, light and sound exploding outward. When the smoke cleared, the rogue lay defeated, eyes fading. Greater than, you fight like him, he coughed. Like Fugaku. Naruto kneeled beside him. Greater than, he believed peace was worth more than pride. I won't let his name be buried in hate. Quote, the man smiled faintly, the last of his strength gone. Greater than, then maybe, his legacy wasn't wasted after all. The promise. After the mission, as the sun rose over Konoha, Naruto stood before the Uchiha monument, a silent stone carved with forgotten names. He placed a single kunai at its base, the handle engraved with the Uchiha crest, the same one Fugaku had given him years ago. Greater than, you gave me strength, he said softly. Now I'll give it back to the world. Quote, Sasuke stood behind him, silent. Greater than, he really trained you, didn't he? Sasuke murmured. Naruto nodded slowly. Greater than, he wanted us both to be better than what the world expected. They stood there for a long while, no rivalry, no words, just quiet understanding. And somewhere in that stillness, the wind carried the faintest whisper, Fugaku's voice, proud and calm. Greater than, you've done well, both of you. Naruto smiled, the morning light reflecting in his eyes. Greater than, rest easy, sensei. Your legacy lives on, through both Uzumaki and Uchiha. A few weeks after the ambush, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. Even after defeating the rogue Uchiha, the weight of Fugaku's final lesson still lingered in his heart. Every night, he returned to the hidden Uchiha compound. The place had been abandoned for years, its walls cracked, its courtyard overgrown, but to Naruto, it was sacred ground. He stood beneath the old clan symbol, fingers brushing the dust-covered walls. Greater than, sensei, he whispered. You always said the Uchiha flame burns even when the clan falls. I'll make sure that fire never dies. He formed a single-hand seal, channeling his chakra. A blue flare ignited around him, spiraling into a new technique. A seal glowed on the ground, an adaptation of Fugaku's old shadow binding array. Except Naruto added wind chakra to it. The result, a vortex of energy that tore through the air, sucking in debris and scattering leaves like a miniature hurricane. Naruto grinned. Greater than, not bad. I bet even Fugaku-sensei would be impressed. But then he sensed something. A faint chakra flicker, familiar, cold, deliberate. He turned sharply. From the shadows, Itachi Uchiha stepped out. The silent reunion. Itachi's expression was unreadable, as always. Greater than, you've been visiting this place often, Naruto, he said quietly. I wondered how long it would take before you realized I was watching. Quote, Naruto tensed, his heart racing. Greater than, you knew, about me and Fugaku. Itachi nodded slowly. Greater than, I suspected it. My father mentioned a blonde boy with the will of fire, before his death. I thought he meant a metaphor. I was wrong. Naruto clenched his fists. Greater than, why didn't you tell Sasuke? He thinks you're just a killer. That you destroyed everything he loved. Itachi's eyes softened. Greater than, because truth is heavier than hatred. Sasuke needs to walk his own path first. You, however, he paused, eyes glowing faintly red with the Sharingan. You've already begun walking father's path, but in your own way. Naruto's breath caught. Greater than, he wanted peace. But everyone keeps twisting that dream. Itachi nodded again. Greater than, then carry it properly. You are not an Uchiha, but you bear the same burden, to protect this village, even when it doesn't deserve it. Quote, a single leaf drifted between them, carried by the wind. Naruto looked up, his eyes filled with conviction. Greater than, I will, Itachi. I swear it. Flames of resolve. Weeks turned into months. Team 7 continued their missions, but Naruto's strength kept growing in ways even Kakashi couldn't fully explain. His chakra control became surgical. His battle style, fast, unpredictable, but precise. One day during training, Sasuke watched him conjure a swirling sphere of energy, the wind lightning Rasengan. Greater than, that's new, Sasuke muttered, smirking slightly. Trying to show off again, Dobe. Naruto grinned back. Greater than, nah. Just trying to catch up to my sensei's expectations. Greater than, you mean Kakashi. Naruto shook his head, eyes gleaming. Greater than, someone else. Sasuke frowned but said nothing. Yet deep down, something about Naruto's tone, calm, respectful, almost reverent, stirred old memories. That night, Sasuke visited the Uchiha ruins himself. He stood before his father's old room and felt something off. A faint trace of chakra. Fugaku's chakra. And within it, Naruto's. He realized then that his best friend had been walking the same shadowed path as his father. New Moon, the storm before truth. Months later, a mission led Team 7 into the borderlands between Fire and Lightning Country. There, an unknown enemy was gathering, remnants of the old Uchiha rebels, now led by a man calling himself Rei Uchiha. He claimed to be Fugaku's loyal student, betrayed and left behind when Fugaku chose peace over rebellion. When Rei heard Naruto carried Fugaku's techniques, he saw him as a heretic, an outsider defiling the clan's name. The confrontation was inevitable. Clash of the inheritors. The battlefield was silent. Only rain and thunder broke the stillness. Naruto stood opposite Rei, the hidden leaf headband gleaming. Rei's crimson eyes burned through the mist. Greater than, you're the boy my master pitied. The outsider who dared to learn from him. Greater than, I didn't just learn from him, Naruto replied. I carry his will. Rei sneered. Greater than, then let's see whose fire burns truer, the outsider's, or the clan's blood. Quote, he struck first, his blade coated in lightning. Naruto parried with his chakra blade, sparks illuminating the storm. Their battle was unlike anything seen before, Sharingan precision against unpredictably flowing chakra. Every clash sent shockwaves through the mud, each strike echoing Fugaku's ghost. Rei's movements were sharp, controlled, but filled with hatred. Naruto's were fluid, alive, a blend of Uchiha discipline and Uzumaki instinct. Greater than, you fight like him, Rei hissed. But you lack his fury. Naruto's eyes flared with determination. Greater than, I don't need fury. I've got purpose. He formed the seal Fugaku had once forbidden him from using, Uchiha's secret, mirror flame seal. Blue fire encased Rei's lightning, reflecting it back tenfold. Rei screamed, the backlash forcing him to his knees. When the flames died down, Naruto approached him slowly. Greater than, you were wrong. He didn't train me to be Uchiha, he trained me to be me. Quote, Rei looked up, tears mingling with rain. Greater than, then, maybe he did what I couldn't, find peace. With that, the storm began to clear. Sunrise 23, Shadows of Peace. The mission ended in victory, but Naruto couldn't feel proud. He sat beneath a tree, staring at the rising sun. Sasuke walked up behind him, silent for a while before speaking. Greater than, you've been keeping secrets from me, haven't you? Naruto didn't turn. Greater than, yeah. About your dad. Sasuke's voice was cold, but not angry. Greater than, he trained you. I can feel it in your chakra, your movements, your eyes when you fight. Naruto sighed. Greater than, he wanted to protect you. Even from the truth. Quote, greater than, and what truth is that? Naruto turned, meeting Sasuke's gaze. Greater than, that Fugaku Uchiha wasn't just your father. He was Konoha's shield, even when the village turned its back on him. He didn't want revenge. He wanted you to live free. Sasuke's fists trembled. For the first time, the endless rage in his heart cracked, replaced by quiet confusion. Greater than, he wanted peace. Naruto nodded. Greater than, yeah. And he taught me to keep it alive. Through you. Sasuke looked away, eyes distant. Greater than, then maybe, you're more of an Uchiha than I ever was. Naruto smiled faintly. Greater than, nah. I'm just someone who believed in your dad. They sat there in silence, two souls connected by one man's legacy. Drop of Blood Chapter 24, The Final Lesson. Back in Konoha, Naruto returned one last time to the Uchiha compound. He lit incense before the memorial stone, Fugaku's name carved faintly into it. Greater than, Sensei, he whispered, you said the true power of fire is to protect what matters. I get it now. The flame you passed to me, it's not Uchiha or Uzumaki. It's human. The wind stirred, scattering the smoke into the sky. And for a moment, Naruto could swear he saw him again, Fugaku, standing tall, his expression soft, proud. Greater than, you've done well, Naruto. The clans will live on through you. Naruto smiled, tears in his eyes. Greater than, thank you, Fugaku-sensei. As the vision faded, Naruto tied a small cloth around his wrist, the last remnant of Fugaku's training band. It bore a symbol that combined the Uchiha fan and the Uzumaki spiral. From that day forward, Naruto carried it into every mission, every battle, not as a symbol of power, but of unity. Sunrise Epilogue, The Fire That Connects. Years later, after Pain's invasion, Naruto stood as the village's savior. The people finally saw him as a hero, but few knew the shadow behind his strength. When Sasuke returned to Konoha after their final battle, he found Naruto sitting by the Uchiha stone once again. Sasuke asked quietly, "Greater than, do you still visit him?" Naruto smiled. "Greater than, every chance I get. After all, everything I became, started with Fugaku Uchiha." Sasuke stared at the stone, his hand brushing the name of his father. "Greater than, he'd be proud of you." Naruto chuckled softly. "Greater than, maybe, but he'd still yell at me for my hand seals being sloppy." Both laughed, a sound that finally broke generations of silence between their clans. And as the wind blew through the ruins, the flame of the Uchiha and the spirit of the Uzumaki danced together, a harmony of shadow and light. After the war against Pain, Naruto found himself standing on the rooftop of the Hokage monument, wind brushing through his hair, the village glowing softly. Under the evening sun, the cheers of the villagers still echoed below, the same villagers who once looked at him with hatred and fear. But Naruto wasn't smiling. He felt empty. Even with all the praise, something deep within him still ached, the shadow of Fugaku's teachings. He remembered the man's final words, spoken before vanishing into the depths of memory. "Greater than, power without understanding becomes destruction, Naruto. You will have to decide one day whether your strength protects, or devours." Quote. And now, that day was approaching. Crossed Swords Chapter 26, The Hidden Scroll. While cleaning up his home one morning, Naruto stumbled across an old wooden box wrapped in seals. It bore the Uchiha crest, faint but unmistakable. His heart skipped a beat. "Greater than, sensei, you left something behind." Breaking the seal carefully, he found a parchment scroll written in Fugaku's elegant, disciplined handwriting. It read, "Greater than, to my final student. If you're reading this, I trust you've carried my lessons forward. But know this, what I taught you was only half of my true legacy. The rest lies within the shadow flame seal, buried beneath the Uchiha sanctuary." Quote. Naruto froze. The Uchiha sanctuary, the same place where the clan's secret meeting chamber once stood. He grabbed his jacket and left immediately. Fire Chapter 27, Beneath the Clan's Tomb. That night, Naruto entered the ruins of the Uchiha district. Dust and silence filled the air, broken only by the echo of his footsteps. He knelt before the statue of the Uchiha progenitor and placed his hand against the cold stone. Chakra pulsed faintly, a hidden seal revealing itself. As he pushed chakra into it, the ground trembled, revealing a spiral staircase descending into darkness. When he reached the bottom, he found a single stone tablet. Unlike the one Sasuke had read under Madara's influence, this one had an inscription only someone with wind chakra could activate. Naruto focused. Blue energy surged through the symbols, illuminating the ancient writing. "Greater than, the shadow flame is the balance between control and chaos. To wield it, one must merge emotion with restraint, hatred with empathy. Only one who understands both sides of fire can control it." A small orb of black and blue fire ignited on the tablet, hovering above it. Naruto reached out, and instantly, pain seared through his arm. Visions flashed. He saw Fugaku in a battle with Danzo, protecting his clan's secrets. He saw Itachi crying silently as he held a sword above his father's heart. He saw Fugaku whispering, "Forgive me, my son. I must protect you, even in death." Naruto collapsed, gasping. When he opened his eyes again, the black flame still burned, but within it was a red core, pulsing in sync with his heartbeat. Greater than, so this is the true Uchiha fire, he murmured. It's not just destruction, it's sacrifice. He cupped the flame in his hand, absorbing it into his chakra network. The energy was overwhelming, cold and hot at once, calm and violent. When he stood again, his eyes gleamed faintly crimson. Not Sharingan, something new. A fusion of Uchiha insight and Uzumaki vitality. High Voltage Chapter 28, The Eyes of Balance. Back in the village, Naruto began to notice subtle changes. He could sense negative emotions more clearly, the bitterness of villages, the grief in others. When he meditated, his chakra split naturally into yin and yang, balancing like a perfect seal. Kakashi was the first to notice something unusual. Greater than, you're different, Naruto. Your chakra feels refined, controlled. Naruto hesitated. Greater than, let's just say I've been practicing what my teacher left behind. Kakashi's visible eye narrowed. Greater than, teacher, you mean Jiraiya? Naruto shook his head slightly. Greater than, no, someone else. Kakashi didn't press further, but he saw it. Naruto's eyes, for a brief second, glowed with a red ring edged in faint blue. Something ancient, something powerful, but peaceful. Tornado Chapter 29, The Return of Shadows. News spread across the land. Rogue shinobi were gathering in the ruins of the Uchiha hideouts, claiming to follow a new heir of Fugaku's will. They called themselves the Ember Sect, believing the Uchiha's ideology of peace through strength should rule the world. Tsunade sent Naruto to investigate, trusting his intuition. When he arrived, he found dozens of masked shinobi kneeling before a burning pyre. At the center stood a man cloaked in black, his voice calm but commanding. Greater than, Fugaku Uchiha's vision was betrayed by the leaf. We will resurrect it through his true heir, the boy who carries his fire. Naruto froze as the crowd turned toward him. Greater than, you mean me? He asked, incredulous. The leader nodded. Greater than, you carry his chakra signature, his seals, his essence. You are the successor. Join us, and together we can restore his dream. Naruto clenched his fists. Greater than, you're wrong. He didn't want domination. He wanted understanding. The leader's tone turned sharp. Greater than, understanding is weakness. Strength is justice. With that, he unleashed a torrent of fire. Naruto countered instantly, a swirling vortex of blue and black flame that consumed the enemy's jutsu without harming a single tree around them. Everyone fell silent. Greater than, you see this? Naruto said, his voice echoing. This is the difference between rage and control. Fugaku-sensei taught me that peace built on hate collapses. The black flames around him condensed into a spiraling pattern, his new form of Rasengan, the Shadow Flam. E-sphere. It hit the leader's weapon, dissolving it into embers. Greater than, go home, Naruto said quietly. If you really believe in Fugaku, live, don't destroy. And with that, he walked away, leaving the cult scattered, the pyre extinguished by his wind. Sunrise Chapter 30, Father and son reunited, in spirit. When Naruto returned to the village, Sasuke was waiting for him near the Hokage Mountain. Greater than, you were gone for a while. Greater than, had something to take care of, Naruto replied, smiling faintly. Sasuke studied him. Greater than, your chakra, it feels familiar. Almost like, greater than, your father. Naruto finished for him. Sasuke froze. Greater than, so it's true then. You really trained under him. Naruto nodded slowly. Greater than, yeah. He taught me how to understand both sides of the shinobi world, light and darkness. Sasuke looked at the horizon. Greater than, he was a complicated man. But, I think he'd be proud that you learned from him. Quote, Naruto chuckled softly. Greater than, he used to say the same thing about you, you know. Said you were destined to burn brighter than any Uchiha before. Sasuke smirked slightly. Greater than, guess he didn't know how stubborn you are. Quote, Naruto laughed, the sound echoing in the wind. Greater than, maybe that's why he chose me. Because I wouldn't stop until I understood him. Sun Chapter 31, The Fire of Unity. Months later, Naruto was nominated as the next Hokage. As he stood before the gathered villagers, his new robe fluttering in the wind, he carried with him the wristband bearing the Uchiha crest fused with the Uzumaki spiral. Greater than, this village once divided itself through fear, Naruto said in his speech. But true peace comes from understanding every side, every shadow. Fugaku Uchiha taught me that even darkness can protect the light. The crowd fell silent, not in confusion, but in deep respect. From the edge of the village, Sasuke watched quietly, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Greater than, father, he whispered. You chose well. Sunrise final scene, the silent flame. Late at night, Naruto returned once more to the old Uchiha compound. He lit a candle beneath Fugaku's memorial stone. Greater than, sensei, your dream lives on. The candle flickered, and for a moment, a shadow appeared behind him, smiling faintly before fading into the night. Naruto didn't turn around. He just smiled. Greater than, yeah, I know. You don't need to say it. He stood and gazed at the stars, the same stars Fugaku once watched, searching for peace. Now, that peace was real. Not born of fear, not born of power, but of understanding. And thus, the hidden fire of Fugaku Uchiha continued to burn, not in the ruins of the clan, but within the heart of the 7th Hokage himself. A week after his Hokage inauguration, Naruto sat atop the Hokage monument, staring at the horizon. The stars shimmered faintly, 2 particularly bright ones, side by side. He smiled. Greater than, looks like you're watching over me, huh, sensei, and maybe Itachi too. Quote, but as he closed his eyes, something strange stirred within his chakra. 2 flames, one golden and one crimson, spiraled around his heart. The golden one radiated warmth and vitality, his mother's and father's love. The crimson burned with discipline, pride, and unspoken sorrow, Fugaku's legacy. When the two merged, Naruto felt an overwhelming surge of clarity. For the first time, he could feel chakra flowing through every living thing, not just its energy, but its emotion, its will. He whispered, greater than, so this is what you meant, sensei, the true nature of power. Fire Chapter 33, The Dojutsu of Harmony. Later, when Sasuke visited the Hokage office, he noticed something immediately. Naruto's eyes, glowing faintly with twin rings, golden and red intertwined. Greater than, that's not Sage Mode, Sasuke said cautiously. What did you do? Naruto shrugged with a small grin. Greater than, guess my chakra got bored of being normal. Quote, Sasuke folded his arms. Greater than, typical. But then Naruto's tone softened. Greater than, it's not just power. It's connection. I can see people's emotions as chakra colors. Pain, joy, doubt, it's all there. I think Fugaku sensei left this inside his fire, something meant to awaken when I understood both clans. Sasuke was silent for a long time. Finally, he said quietly. Greater than, then maybe, you really did inherit both our legacies. The Uchiha and the Leaf. Naruto smirked. Greater than, nah. I just finally learned what they both were fighting for. Quote, Fog Chapter 34, The Shadows Return. Months passed. Peace reigned across the nations, yet rumors spread of a mysterious force, shinobi whose chakra signatures were hollow, their emotions erased. Kakashi investigated and returned with troubling news. Greater than, they call themselves the Silent Flame. They claim to perfect Fugaku's ideology, by removing emotion from all shinobi entirely. Naruto frowned deeply. Greater than, that's not what he wanted. He wanted control, not emptiness. Sasuke leaned against the wall. Greater than, then it's time we remind them what Fugaku really stood for. The 2 former students, one of Minato and Jiraiya, the other of Itachi and Orochimaru, set off together into the night. Crossed Swords Chapter 35, The Last Sanctuary. They found the silent flame deep within the ruins of an ancient fortress once used by Danzo's route. Hundreds of shinobi meditated silently under the control of chakra seals etched into the ground. At their center stood a masked man. Greater than, Fugaku's dream was too soft, he said. You misunderstand him. He wanted peace without pain, so I shall erase pain itself. Naruto's eyes glowed. Greater than, and what's left when you erase pain? Humanity. The man extended his hands, releasing waves of pale flame. But before it reached them, Naruto's chakra flared, twin vortexes of wind and fire swirling together. Greater than, you want peace without emotion. Then you'll understand nothing. The resulting blast shattered the seals, freeing the trapped shinobi. Naruto's flames danced through the air, burning away the hollow energy, but not the people. Sasuke moved in with lightning speed, his blade cutting through the false leader's mask. Behind it was an old root operative, one who had served Danzo. Greater than, Danzo promised me control, I carried his final command, the man gasped, collapsing. Naruto stood silent for a moment. Greater than, Danzo and Fugaku, two men who both wanted peace but took opposite paths. And in the end, both were swallowed by their own choices. Sasuke nodded. Greater than, and were the ones left to make sure their mistakes don't happen again. Sunrise Chapter 36, The Uchiha Flame Reborn. After the battle, Naruto gathered the freed shinobi in the ruins. He raised his hand, releasing a burst of blue and crimson light that painted the night sky. Greater than, this fire doesn't belong to one clan anymore. It's the fire of everyone who's suffered, fought, and learned to move forward. The crowd bowed. Even Sasuke, from behind, smiled faintly. Greater than, you're hopelessly idealistic, he muttered. And you love it, Naruto shot back, grinning. As the light faded, the old Uchiha ruins shimmered with warmth, as if Fugaku's soul itself acknowledged the rebirth of his dream. Shooting Star Chapter 37, The Final Memory. That night, Naruto dreamt again of Fugaku. He stood in the old training grounds, his arms folded, the familiar calm gaze on his face. Greater than, you've done well, Naruto. Greater than, you said power needs understanding. I think I finally get it now. Fugaku smiled faintly. Greater than, you surpassed even my expectations. You didn't just master fire, you changed its purpose. Naruto looked down, humbled. Greater than, I didn't do it alone. I had people who believed in me. Fugaku nodded. Greater than, then remember, the true flame is not passed through blood, but through will. As his spirit faded into the morning light, his final words echoed softly. Greater than, protect the balance. Always. Sunrise Epilogue, The Fire That Never Dies. Years later, under the peaceful rule of the 7th Hokage, the new generation of ninja learned not only ninjutsu but also the philosophy of harmony. Naruto stood before the academy students, his robe flowing gently in the breeze. Behind him hung two emblems, the Uzumaki spiral, and the Uchiha fan. Greater than, every flame has two sides, he said with a smile. One that burns, and one that warms. Which one you become depends on your heart. Quote, the children cheered. From the shadows of the crowd, Sasuke nodded in quiet approval. And for a brief moment, as sunlight touched the Uchiha crest, a faint silhouette of Fugaku appeared, calm, proud, and finally at peace. The shadow within the flame. Crescent Moon Chapter 38, The Echo of the Fan. Years after Fugaku's spirit had faded into light, Konoha thrived under Naruto's leadership. The scars of war had healed, and bonds between clans grew stronger, especially between the Uchiha survivors and the rest of the villa. But deep beneath the rebuilt Uchiha district, a faint pulse of chakra flickered, ancient and cold. Unknown to all but a select few, something had awakened. That night, as Naruto meditated in the Hokage office, his chakra senses, honed by Fugaku's teachings, suddenly spiked. A flicker of crimson light cut through his vision, followed by whispers. Greater than, Uzumaki, Uchiha, balance, broken. Naruto's eyes snapped open. The entire village was silent, unnaturally silent. Even the wind felt like it was holding its breath. He stood quickly, throwing on his cloak. Greater than, Sasuke, meet me under the Uchiha district. Now. Milky Way Chapter 39, Beneath the Fan. The old tunnels beneath the Uchiha grounds hadn't been touched in decades, not since the massacre. But now, when Naruto and Sasuke arrived, glowing red seals lined the walls. Sasuke frowned, activating his Sharingan. Greater than, these aren't Itachis. Or Madaras. They're older, ancestral. Naruto ran his hand along one of the seals, feeling the familiar warmth of chakra, but twisted. Greater than this, it feels like Fugaku's chakra, but corrupted. Like someone's trying to resurrect the clan's will. Before they could analyze further, the ground quaked violently. A burst of crimson energy erupted from a nearby chamber. From it stepped a figure cloaked in ash and flame, an ethereal projection of a man, his eyes glowing with an evolved Sharingan pattern Naruto had never seen. Greater than, so, you are the one he chose. Naruto stepped forward. Greater than, who are you? Greater than, I am the first bearer of the Uchiha name, Izuna Uchiha. Brother of Madara. Sasuke froze. Greater than, that's impossible. You died in the Warring States era. Izuna smirked faintly. Greater than, death means little to those bound by vengeance and chakra. His gaze turned to Naruto. Greater than, you carry the flame of my descendant, and yet, you wear the face of the Senju. Unacceptable. Fire Chapter 40, Clash of Legacies. Before Naruto could speak, Izuna's chakra exploded. The entire cavern was consumed by red fire, pure Sharingan energy. Sasuke barely had time to react before Izuna appeared behind him, blade drawn. Naruto intercepted the strike with a Rasengan infused with fire release, Fugaku's fire spiral style. Greater than, I don't care if you're an ancestor. I won't let you destroy what we built. Izuna's ethereal form twisted with dark amusement. Greater than, built. You weakened it. You let Uchiha pride dissolve into peace. Quote, their clash shook the underground halls. Rasengan met flame blade, wind met fire, and every strike tore through ancient stone. Sasuke joined in, his eternal Mangekyo blazing. Greater than, you talk about pride, but what did it ever bring you? Death, regret. Izuna's form flickered slightly at those words, a hesitation, but he quickly regained composure. Greater than, regret, yes. And that is why my vengeance must live on. Naruto pressed forward, activating his golden red chakra cloak, the twin flame Fugaku left behind. Greater than, then you'll see what a new generation can do. The clash ended with Naruto's Rasengan piercing Izuna's form, not destroying it, but purifying it. As the energy faded, Izuna's expression softened. Greater than, you, carry the balance he could never achieve. Perhaps the fire has finally found peace. The spectral figure dissolved, leaving behind a single burning ember. Naruto caught it carefully, feeling the familiar warmth of Fugaku's chakra inside. Sunrise Chapter 41, The Ember of Shadows. The next morning, Konoha's sky glowed faintly crimson at dawn. Naruto stood before the Uchiha memorial stone, holding the ember in his palm. Sasuke stood beside him, quiet. Greater than, so, what are you going to do with it? Naruto smiled slightly. Greater than, I'm going to finish what Fugaku started, not by rebuilding the Uchiha, but by making sure no clan ever has to live in shadow again. Quote, he knelt down, pressing the ember into the ground before the memorial. It sank slowly, leaving behind a faint red glow that spread across the entire Uchiha district, a symbol of remembrance and rebirth. High Voltage Chapter 42, The Hidden Student. A few days later, Naruto began training a new generation of ninja, the children of both Uchiha and Uzumaki descent. Among them was a quiet girl named Rei, black hair, blue eyes, and a strange chakra pattern that flickered between wind and flame. She often watched Naruto train, mimicking his movements in silence. One day, she asked, Greater than, Lord Seventh, is it true you were trained by an Uchiha? Naruto smiled softly. Greater than, yeah. He taught me that fire isn't about destruction. It's about protecting warmth, even when the world's cold. Rei nodded. Greater than, then, can you teach me that too? Naruto saw the determination in her eyes, the same spark Fugaku once had when he stood against impossible odds. Greater than, hey, yeah. Let's make sure that fire never dies out. And thus began the Hidden Flame Project, a secret training group dedicated to uniting all chakra styles and philosophies. Wind, fire, earth, lightning, water, all balanced through one principle, control through emotion, not against it. Tornado Chapter 43, The Return of the Storm. Peace, however, never lasts long. Months later, strange chakra disturbances began appearing across the elemental nations. Ninja reported seeing reflections of themselves in mirrors of red light, copies that acted on suppressed emotions. Naruto and Sasuke investigated one of the sites in the Land of Iron, a frozen wasteland where chakra energy warped reality itself. There, in the blizzard, stood an exact copy of Naruto, but with crimson eyes and a cruel grin. "Greater than, you carry Fugaku's fire," the clone said. "But you've forgotten the shadow that came with it." The real Naruto frowned. "Greater than, you're the part of me he helped control. The part that still doubts peace." Quote, the clone smirked. "Greater than, and that part, has been waiting to burn free." Fire Chapter 44, Naruto vs. The Shadow of Flame. The fight was devastating. Every Rasengan Naruto launched was countered by its darker twin. Every wind slash met a crimson inferno. Even Sasuke struggled to interfere, the chakra was too volatile, the battlefield too unstable. But as the battle raged, Naruto remembered Fugaku's final lesson. Greater than, to control fire, you don't resist it. You embrace it. He stopped fighting, closed his eyes, and let the flames wash over him. For a moment, his body dissolved into pure light. Both the golden chakra of the sage and the crimson of the Uchiha danced together, merging into a brilliant white fire. When the light faded, the clone was gone, absorbed. Naruto stood tall, his eyes glowing with the symbol of the eternal flame, a fusion of the sage's Rinnegan ring and the Uchiha fan swirl. Sasuke stared in shock. "Greater than, you merged your light and shadow, completely." Naruto looked at his hands. "Greater than, I didn't fight it. I just accepted it. Guess that's what Sensei wanted all along." Cyclone Chapter 45, The Fire Beyond Blood. Back in Konoha, Naruto shared his new understanding with the next generation. He created a new training scroll, the Scroll of Twin Flames, inscribed with words that echoed across time. Greater than, true strength is born not from power, but from understanding one's darkness. Fire burns, but also heals. The wall of fire is not the end of the Uchiha flame, it's its evolution. As years passed, Konoha became a living symbol of unity. Uzumaki healers worked with Uchiha tacticians. Hyuga visionaries teamed with Nara strategists. Even distant lands began to follow the same balance. And every year, on the night of Fugaku's death, Naruto would light a crimson lantern and set it afloat across the Hokage monument, a silent tribute to the man who shaped him in the shadows. Sunrise Final Chapter, The Eternal Light. Many years later, an older Naruto stood on the same hill where Fugaku once trained him. The air was quiet, the leaves whispering softly. A small boy ran up behind him, his grandson. "Greater than, Grandpa Naruto. Is it true your teacher was an Uchiha?" Naruto chuckled. "Greater than, yeah. He wasn't easy to please either." The boy tilted his head. "Greater than, what did he teach you?" Naruto smiled warmly. "Greater than, he taught me that even the coldest fire can still give warmth, if you protect it right." As the boy ran off chasing fireflies, Naruto looked toward the stars. The twin lights, golden and crimson, shone brighter than ever. And for just a moment, he saw Fugaku's silhouette standing at the edge of the forest, arms folded, the faintest of proud smiles on his face. "Thank you, Sensei." Years later, peace finally became more than just a dream, it became Konoha's reality. The world had changed, not through war, but through understanding, something Fugaku had always hoped for, though he never lived to see it. Naruto stood before the Hokage monument one evening, the wind playing gently with his cloak, his eyes reflecting both warmth and sorrow. The village below was alive with laughter, the kind he once dreamed of hearing without fear or hatred shadowing it. In his hand, he held a single black kunai, engraved with the Uchiha crest on one side, and the Uzumaki spiral on the other. It was the last relic of his secret teacher. He remembered every moment of that hidden training, the cold eyes of Fugaku, his silent nods, his rare smirk whenever Naruto surprised him, the fire that demanded discipline but rewarded heart. Fugaku had taught him more than ninjutsu. He had taught him restraint, judgment, and respect for strength born from emotion. And now, those lessons lived on through Naruto, his students, and even the Uchiha who rebuilt anew from the ashes of pride. Naruto whispered softly, his voice carried away by the wind. Greater than, you always said the Uchiha flame burns brightest in silence. But now, it burns in peace. He placed the kunai before the memorial stone, where the names of all who once fell were etched in eternal memory: Itachi, Fugaku, Shisu. Countless others who gave their light to end the darkness. Behind him, Sasuke approached, his own cloak swaying in the breeze. Greater than, you still talk to him. Naruto smiled faintly. Greater than, yeah. Guess old habits die hard. Quote, Sasuke crossed his arms, smirking slightly. Greater than, then tell him, the clan finally found balance. Naruto looked up at the sunset, red and gold, the perfect blend of Uchiha flame and Uzumaki warmth. Greater than, he already knows. As twilight deepened, the last light of the sun glinted off the Hokage faces. The wind carried the faint sound of a whisper, not loud, not clear, but real enough for Naruto to feel it in his heart. Greater than, I'm proud of you, Naruto. Naruto smiled. Thanks, sensei. And with that, the fire once born in secret finally found its peace. No longer hidden, no longer bound by hate, it became the eternal light that guided the world forward. Thank you.